Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine, being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you realize you're not dead. You try to push the lid of the coffin open. The enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from doing that. You just think you're going to die. But then you say, maybe if I bang on the lid, I'll unsettle that dirt, and maybe, just maybe, someone on top might notice and start digging their way down to help me. This is what it's like to feel at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help. You know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, folks, there are people standing by that grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you this one simple question. Did it ever cross your mind when you were abusing drugs and alcohol that you will take something that was preciously given to you by the Lord Jesus Christ, your life? Selfish is the act of taking your own life due to your drug and alcohol addiction. And I realize it's a disease. However, you have the opportunity to reach out and ask for help. But more selfishly is to take your life away from your children, your grandchildren, from your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, whoever loves you so dearly. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be the person in this coffin that I'm reading about that is reaching out for help when it's way too late. Instead, be the person that reaches out today. Reach for me. I will pull you in. Call me at 844-405-HELP, and I will help you take your life back before your life is gone. And there are other people. A good friend of mine, Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741, 516-458-2741. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach, a life coach. He will help you from your addiction to your recovery. He will help you from your depression to happier times, low self-esteem to higher self-esteem. Larry Geis and I always tell people like you, that's right, you, it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what your background is. What matters is that you're reaching out to us. We will pull you in, and we will promise you a brighter tomorrow if you just give us a call. You can call Larry at 516-458-2741. You can also Google him at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry and I are standing by, waiting. Again, don't be that person that's reaching out for help when it's too late. All it takes is that one time of alcohol and drug abuse, and it's over. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741. Folks, it doesn't matter if you're a judge, if you're a cop, if you're a priest, if you're me, if you're you, if you're a celebrity, it doesn't matter. Drug and alcohol will invade you, will take you, will vacuum you into its disease. It is up to you to be strong enough on your own or with guidance to learn to live a sober life, to learn to live in recovery. I was talking to someone last night, and I made a point to let this person know I am still an alcoholic. It doesn't matter how long I've been sober. I'm still an alcoholic. The difference is I've learned to live with it. 6 celebrities that beat drug and alcohol addiction is our topic today. Over decades, we've seen countless celebrities do the usual dealings with drugs and, alcohol. Many remain addicts to this day, while some died young thanks to a drug or alcohol overdose. Some might have even taken their own lives. There are, however, some notable exceptions wising up and successful kicking their deadly drug and alcohol habit before it was too late. What's more, these celebrities that beat their respective addictions went on to achieve highs in their careers that could never match any of the highs of their drug abuse. Now, mind you, of these 6 that I'm going to read, one in particular, which is Robin Williams, took his own life. Yes, he had addiction issues, but he also had depression issues. Let's start with Robert Downey Jr. Shockingly enough, Robert Downey Jr. was only 6 years old when he first had a taste of marijuana. Growing up in a home where drugs were very accessible, he eventually developed a serious drug problem at the age of 22. The actor battled serious addictions to cocaine, heroin, and other drugs. Between 1996 and 2001, Downey was arrested a number of times and had several stints in drug rehab and even in prison. As a result, his very promising career took a nosedive, suffered tremendously, as producers were not really interested in hiring an otherwise brilliant actor who may at any moment get arrested again for his chronic drug habits. But since his release from rehab in July 2002, Downey has stayed clean and is currently riding the wave of what could be of one of the most amazing stories. Hollywood has seen amazing stories, but Robert Downey Jr. is truly one of them. On top of the nomination for his turn as the Australian method actor obsessed with an African-American role in Tropic Thunder, projects are lined up left and right, and Downey is enjoying the high levels of success that he has always been destined for. Drew Barrymore. Long before Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears hogged the headlines with their wild antics and childish antics, there was Drew Barrymore. At the age of 9, Drew was already smoking cigarettes. She was an alcoholic at 11, and marijuana smoker by 12, and a cocaine addict by 13. She went to rehab twice and even attempted suicide when she was 14. But all that's in the past now. Her wild child days are behind her. Barrymore has grown into a sober, responsible, and productive woman. Aside from starring in a slew of hits, she has also become a producer, forming a production company called Flower Films, with friend and partner Nancy Jovian in '95. Her company is responsible for hits like Charlie Angels, 50 First Dates. Quite a turnaround for a woman with a childhood as messed up as hers was. Number 3. Charlie Sheen. If there's one living proof that tough love works, it's none other than Charlie Sheen. Now, I want to update you folks. Since this was printed out, Charlie Sheen has somewhat had more issues. The actor once dubbed the Machine by friends of the insatiable appetite for drugs, alcohol, and women, had a taste of this kind of love from his father, Martin Sheen. Before his father intervened, Charlie, who began experimenting with drugs at the age of 11, was a cokehead and reportedly consumed 2 quarts of vodka a day. Then came the fateful day 98, when the younger Sheen, bored out of his mind in his Malibu home, decided to try injecting cocaine. He overdosed, and deeply concerned Martin reported his son to the judge himself. As Charlie was already under probation at the time, the judge issued a warrant for Charlie's arrest and sent the younger Sheen to rehab. The intervention saved Charlie's life. Now, 42, he has become one of the highest paid actors in TV as the star of the sitcom 2.5 Men. Charlie can only be thankful to his dad for doing what he did, and when he did. This is a real result of intervention. Update again. Since then, Charlie is now no longer with 2.5 Men, and he has somewhat gone off the cliff again. I'm not sure of alcohol and drugs. He claims there is none, but by listening to the way he speaks, it makes you wonder. Number 4, Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie has confessed to doing just about every drug possible. In a '98 interview, she admitted to using cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, LSD, and other drugs. She has since given up drugs long ago and is now one of the biggest stars in the world. An Oscar-winning actress, a mother of 6, and a passionate humanitarian, famed for her work as Goodwill Ambassador for the UN Refugee Agency. Here comes the sad one. He is no longer with us. He has taken his own life. Number 5, Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. People have Seen Robin Williams in his family-friendly films will probably find it hard to believe that this maniac comedian was once a cocaine addict. At the beginning of his career, Williams was already a cokehead and abused a number of different drugs as well. It took the drug overdose of fellow comedian John Belushi to wake Williams up, who then took the initiative and checked into a rehab center immediately. After sobering up, Williams went on to star in many comedic hits and established himself as a serious actor as well, with dramatic turns in Fisher King and Good Will Hunting, where he won his first and only Oscar award for Best Supporting Actor. Update again. Robin Williams is no longer with us. News reports say he committed suicide due to depression. But when you mix being a celebrity with drugs, alcohol, and depression, it is surely a sad ending. Last but not least is Oprah Winfrey. There are actually two sides to Oprah Winfrey. To this, Oprah Winfrey was a drug addict story. On one hand, there was the unforgettable TV moment in the 90s when she tearfully admitted in her own talk show that she had a smoke crack cocaine while in her 20s, but never said anything about the addiction to the drugs or anything else. On the other hand, there's the more recent allegations made in a tell-all book by the former boyfriend that Oprah was actually a regular cocaine user in the 80s, was in fact under the influence during her show tapings. Whatever the truth might be, it is clear that Oprah has now overcome whatever drug demons of the 70s and 80s were there. As of September 2008, Forbes has listed Oprah as having a fortune of worth over $2.7 billion. CNN and Time magazine dubbed her arguably the world's most powerful woman. She is quite the success story. Sordid, drug past or not. These are 6 celebrities that beat drug and alcohol addiction. One more time. Over the decades, we've seen countless celebrities do the usual dalliance with drugs and alcohol. Many remain addicts to this day, while some have died young thanks to drug and alcohol abuse. There are, however, some notable exceptions wishing up successful kicking their deadly drug and alcohol habit before it was too late. And I want to emphasize again, out of the 6 that I'm going to mention, there are 2. One no longer with us, Robin Williams. Reports are due to committing suicide over depression. And the other one, we don't know exactly what's going on with him. Reports directly from him say he does not touch drug and alcohol. By his action and his words, makes you wonder. Number 1 was Robert Downey Jr. Shockingly enough, Robert Downey Jr. was only 6 years old when he first tasted marijuana. Listen to this, 6 years old. Growing up in a home where drugs and alcohol were very accessible, he eventually developed a serious drug problem by the age of 22. He was addicted to cocaine and heroin, and many other ones. Drew Barrymore. Now listen to this sad story. At the age of 9, she was already smoking cigarettes. At the age of 11, smoking marijuana. 12, cocaine. 13, heroin. By the age of 14, she had already attempted suicide. But that's all in the past now. She's very successful. Charlie Sheen. Again, great story. His father gave him tough love and saved him. But by his actions in the last 3-4 years, although he claims there's no drug and alcohol involved in his life presently, misfortune has come across him. He is now HIV positive, and his actions and his words say otherwise to what he claims as a drug and alcohol-free life. Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie has confessed doing just about every drug possible. In a '98 interview, she admitted using cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, LSD, and many other drugs. But now, she has, for quite some time, turned her life around, and she is the Goodwill Ambassador for UN Refugee Agency. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. People have seen Robin Williams in his family-friendly films will probably find it hard to believe that the maniac comedian was once an alcohol and cocaine addict. They find it hard to believe that he's even passed on. After John Belushi overdosed, Robin Williams checked himself into a rehab, straightened his life out, but that depression, those demons from depression, never left him. It was either 2 or 3 years ago. Robin Williams deceased of committing suicide. Rest in peace, Robin. Last but not least, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey's boyfriend claims that she was a major drug user in the 80s. Even during her taping her shows, she was under the influence. Again, turned her life around. Folks, this is perfectly laid out for you to understand. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a cop watching me in your police station right now, or at the correction facility, if you're a priest or a father watching me from your office at church, if you are a judge, you might be watching me from the court building. It doesn't matter who you are. It'll affect people like you and people like me. Drugs and alcohol will kill you. Drug addicts and alcoholics have an addiction, and it's a disease. Do never ever label someone that has that disease called drug addiction and alcoholism. Would you label somebody who has cancer? Would you label somebody that has diabetes? Stop with the labeling across the board, and we will all live a better life. If you see someone that has alcohol issues I should say, or drug addiction issues, embrace them, help them, find help for them. Give me a call, 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I will help you or any of your friends take their life back before the life is gone. I hope to God, no matter where you're watching me, the thousands and millions of people watching me, no matter where you are, that you have the best day of your life. But I hope and I truly pray that you all have a sober rest of your life. And may God bless each and every one of you. Take care.